Keeping up with CSGO's updates at the moment is a full-time job. Since the last major, we've had 5 updates in under 2 weeks. One of them was a bit boring, granted, but the rest weren't. Today sees Vertigo added to competitive matchmaking, Cobble removed, a few other maps reshuffled around in casual play, some bug fixes, map updates for Vertigo, and a new HUD element to show the new loss bonus system. We'll start with Vertigo, which is all opened up for the first time in years, unless you've been playing my workshop map version. The changes to CT spawn are the hardest to get my head around. The old route has been sealed up, and a new one added that leads straight through to the elevator room. To see the change this makes to the rotation times between the routes a day, let's run from the back of A, around through CT spawn, and to the elevator room. There. This update also means that from CT spawn, you can almost see to both sites. But while this makes it faster for CTs to reach A, they'll be a bit slower at getting to mid. I'll have to do a contact point analysis for this map at some point. I'm just a bit scared of doing it right now because it could change at any moment. I assume these stacks of insulation are to obstruct this line of sight, but it also lets players perform a sneaky boost to look on over into bombsite B, and the upper terrorist corridor entrance as well. Is this intentional? Is it all playing into Vertigo's verticality? We'll let a future update decide. Also, the bullet holes on these rolls are ludicrously large, and the bullet holes on the panels opposite stack on top of each other until they're a beautiful rainbow hue. The cover in mid has been shifted slightly, which the patch notes say will make T-boosts slightly safer. Well, I guess if you want to boost up here it's a bit safer now. You can also boost over the large wooden crate to gain a powerful sightline through to door. Player movements on the metal stairs at T-spawn and B have been smoothed out. For this, I made the clipping brushes visible, and you can indeed see that more of it has been clipped off at T-spawn. The steps at B, not so much. But there didn't seem to be a problem with it in the first place. The soundscapes have been changed. The bridge at the lift shaft shows this most clearly. The sounds have been made much louder and windier. And outside, particularly at A, I noticed metal groans coming from the crane that weren't there before. Not sure if this works well for a competitive game mode. Normally, Valve reduces distracting stuff like background noise and fog, so this change did surprise me. Also, I like this little touch here. It wasn't added in this update, but this orange graffiti lines up with the edge of the crate on the other side of the wall. If you hope to wall bang people through here, shoot to the right of it, or else the crate will gobble up all your bullets like a really hungry box. The generator at T-spawn has been moved up to the 2nd floor, which is wrong on so many levels. It gives terrorists a good bit of cover to defend against CT rushes, but also now makes more sense because previously these lights lit up without being connected to anything. The generator doesn't appear to be on, but it's still a step in the right direction. The cables themselves have been changed. They used to be 3D models, and now they're using the same wire tech that has been in the Source engine since Half-Life 2. I don't think it looks quite as well lit as the old cables were, but I was surprised to see some lighting on them, with the cables away from the skylights indeed appearing more dimly lit. And then I remembered that it's 2019 and it's not that impressive at all. And a single roof panel has been taken out to make grenade throws easier for terrorists. A single roof tile. I took comparison shots of the rest of the map to see if anything else had changed. Some metal things have been added to this wall, but I don't think they serve any purpose other than to look nice. And you can lose weapons down the side here. Valve, please fix. If you fall down the shaft, you can see no drawer in the windows. What a horrible way to go. One thing I do love are the worn-off edges to the concrete blocks. It looks 3D, but it's not. It's just painted on. But you wouldn't have known that had I not pointed it out. And the last change that I noticed was that the sandbags at bombsite A have gone through a bulking session. Onto Cobble, which has had a bumpy ride ever since it was first made. It has seen many large changes since arriving in CSGO in 2013, but these apparently weren't enough, and it's been taken out of the competitive map pool, now only playable in casual game modes. I'd say to expect a redesign at some point, were Valve not so busy with Vertigo and Canals, and all of these other updates as well. I don't see Cobble being a priority right now. As for the map pools, this is what they looked like before, and this is what they look like now. Sigma seems to be for more experimental maps that are perhaps still going through changes, while Delta contains all of the old favourites that aren't likely to see much done to them anytime soon. And then there's Dust 2. And Hostage. The loss bonus system was changed about a week ago. maybe it's proving to be more complicated to keep track of than expected. So on the scoreboard for competitive games, it shows how much money you'll get for losing a round. 0 of these lit up is $1,400, while all 4 will give you a sweet $3,400. It also shows the enemies, which is an interesting touch. I guess you could work it out manually by counting back through the rounds. But it does also show another thing. If you lose, say, 8 rounds in a row and then start winning, you'll keep the maximum loss bonus for several rounds. Although you'll never be paid more than $3,400, it will remain at that level for several rounds should your new winning streak end. And then there are bug fixes, which you can read here. They're all pretty self-explanatory. Tasers no longer shoot through walls. Trilux deserves mention here, for in 2016 he made this excellent video talking about the problem. He discovered that you could kill through thin walls, and guessed this was to do with the model culling, which hides body parts that stick through walls, of which I've also dedicated a video on in the past, covering. Sadly, although made invisible, their hitboxes remain active. Another newer bug that Trilux discovered in 2017 remains, which lets players pick up the Zeus through walls. If you suspect a player is hiding behind a spot, simply toss a Zeus at it and see if it disappears. If so, there's an enemy on the other side who has automatically picked it up. This would likely work with other weapons as well, but since the Zeus slot is seldom used, and is so cheap, it's the ideal choice to use for this exploit. They fixed a problem with the new D3D90X command. I suspect a lot of players use integrated Intel graphics, so it's good they got that before making it compulsory. The Emperor M4A4 in the Prisma case was missing a "the" from its name, and Danger Zone, CSGO's Battle Royale mode, has had a few minor improvements geared around starting matches sooner and being able to invite teammates to a new lobby before the previous game ends. I guess with the improved lobby it isn't required, but CSGO used to have a rematch vote at the end of every competitive game. It needed both teams to agree to it, and of course it was never done because why would the losing team want to lose again? So while this feature hasn't been in the game for years, I see these new ways of inviting strangers to your lobby as kind of like an improved, streamlined rematch feature. I know we wanted more updates, and I feel this spam of changes is Valve passively aggressively giving us what we wanted. But I'm trying to work on other videos as well, so let's try and hold off the changes for a while. Please?